Hello, friends. Welcome back to Stan's Cutlery Universe. And well, I did it again. I bought something on Temu. I bought what looked to be a cool razor knife. I took this out of the package, but I have not opened this box. I have not seen this yet. And when I say razor knife, I mean a razor utility knife. It looked like it had a unique action to put the blade out and retract the blade. I'll be honest. I hope I didn't buy a turd. This for Temu was actually pretty pricey. This started out at like the $20 range. And then anybody who's ever dealt with Temu knows that if you put it in your cart, wait a day or two, you'll get a discount. So I think I ended up paying $12, 12 or $13 with free shipping. And I was going to open it and look at it myself and just, it is what it is. But I thought, you know what? Let's share it. Maybe I found something cool on Temu, or maybe I found a turd. What I'm really hoping is I didn't find a counterfeit. If it's a counterfeit, I got to mark it Temu, because that's what I do with any counterfeit knives that I get off from there, like any of them that claim to be uh, uh, Cold Steel, Spyderco, Benchmade. I bought one little Benchmade that, if it's actually S35VN, I owe them a lot more money, but it's a counterfeit. The more I looked at it, because in your brain, you're getting a counterfeit, but you hope that just maybe it's not. So yeah, that one's been marked Temu counterfeit. So because if something happens to me, I don't want my kids, family trying to sell a knife that they look up, oh, this is a $200 knife, and selling it to somebody on eBay or something, and then the person being just ticked off because it's a counterfeit. But anyways, let's take a look see at this. Let's see what it looks like. I'm gonna open it here to where, okay, I think I can open it. It might not be child proof, but it's definitely Stanley proof. There, I got it moving. Okay. Oh, got instructions here. See, there's what it looks like. Let's look at the instructions. What do we do? Here's instructions. Okay. Let's take a look. See this. So far, I'm thinking they're not trying to claim it's anything that it's not. At least I don't think so. Okay, there is a blade in there. I brought out extra blades. I got 100 extra blades just in case. Is there a blade in the knife? There is not. So I got to put a blade into it. So I'll get in the bottom here because they did put a blade in the bottom. And, now, if any of you know that this is like definitely a, oh, that's cool. I love this little, check this little blade dispenser out. Press down. It releases a blade. Next one pops up. That's pretty cool. Cool little blade dispenser. But seriously, if there's any of you out there that say, hey, I know what this is. This is you did bad, Stan. You bought a counterfeit. I gotta figure out how the hell to put a blade in it now. Maybe that's why there's instructions, eh? Let's see. Right thumb to the right, gently press, then left hand take out of the blade. Okay, well, now I gotta put the blade in. Quick change blades. Take out downward the knife head, gently press the lock button with your right hand, put in upward the knife head, put in blade, and gently press the lock button. Okay. Number 2 is blade on off. Okay, so number 2 is right here. This is blade on off. So I'm going to assume it's got to go that way. That's what it looks like. If you hear a loud scream and you hear a lot of blood, okay, here's what I think. I think this is the part that you have to push right here. Sweet. Got it. Wow. Pretty cool. I like that. Tip down carry, which I guess is probably about the only way you want it. You don't want to get full of stuff. So now you got a little razor blade in there. And why I wanted this is, I am medically retired because of my things got going on. But it just looked cool. Look, that's obviously fake carbon fiber, you know. There's nothing real about that. It does have a lanyard hole, big one. That's pretty cool. I think some of that 550 cord I got from Sean, Watch City Knives, might be going in there. How's the clip? Oh, that is one tight clip. That's going to destroy jeans, I think. But man, I think it's a decent piece for the price. I mean, some of you all might know. Oh, I can deploy it with my left hand too. My left hand's my hand that's messed up, so it's easy enough to deploy. Wow, I'm pretty satisfied with it. The only thing I'm not satisfied with is these really super good instructions. Yeah. But hey, you know, I give them credit. I don't think they're trying to, because they say product name is automatic utility knives, material stainless steel and A1. Blades are the SK5s. This tells the size, and I don't think they're trying to steal anybody's design. At least I haven't seen this design. It doesn't mean it's not out there, because I don't, you know, if it did steal somebody's design, you know, hey, I guess they stole a design, but they are definitely, there is no marks on it anywhere saying that it's anything, you know, other than just a Chinese made piece. Huh. I'll tell you, this lock is hard too. It's going to be yeah, you really got to push on that lock to unlock it. So this should be pretty stable. I think I got a bug flying, laying in the back of my head. This should be pretty friggin' stable. Like I said, if anybody, I'm sure this is somebody's look like ripoff. I'm sure of that, but I give Temu credit that they like didn't try to say, you know, this is Benchmade or Cold Steel, or you know what I'm saying, because that, unfortunately, you see those all over. Just like I was looking at eBay today, man, do not be buying any of those cheap Spyderco Benchmades or Cold Steels from eBay. I will guarantee you, when you're buying a Cold Steel that is normally you know, in the store, uh $50 to $100 knife, and you're getting it for $29.95, guess what? And with free shipping, I'll guarantee that's a Temu piece. I'll guarantee it, or a Alibaba. And you know, I mean, if you want to do that, I guess rock on. I like to get them every once in a while to compare them. But like I said, all those pieces, I do put counterfeit Temu, or just put Temu on there or something. Depends on how big the blade is. If the blade's big enough that I can put counterfeit Temu, I do. If the blade's not, I just put Temu, you know, because my writing with the engraver is not the greatest. But you know, I don't want nobody to get anything, even if I'm gone. I don't want, or shoot, the worst case for me would be I forget I got it on Temu, and you know, I work out a trade with somebody in the community, and all of a sudden they're going, "Oh man, Stan's a jerk. He traded me this piece of crap that's not real." You know, that would, my goodness, I would feel horrible. But yeah, nice presentation box. Nice. The instructions leave a bit to be wanted. I'm not going to lie on this, but I think it's going to be a nice piece. It locks very nicely. It locks just like any auto knife I've ever had. You know, you're going to have some rock and stuff because you have to for the action. But man, that's a snappy action. And what I like is I can do it with my left hand. That means my wife can probably deploy this, because some of my autos, she out the front, she can't. You know, she's like using both thumbs to get it going. So that's pretty cool. This is going to be a handy dandy little piece. I'm glad I got it. You know, I didn't really look around. This was intentionally a Temu buy. I wanted to see what it was like. Um, Maybe I could have got it cheaper on Amazon or something. I don't know. But I just thought it'd be pretty cool to get and try it out. Like I said, it didn't look like they was trying to claim it was anybody's uh, product, other than, you know, it just said, I think it's that Hung Yang or Yang Ho or whatever a lot of the Temu knives are, you know. Um, and as far as I'm concerned on that, if they're not trying to represent that it's something that it's not, you know, yes, it might be a clone, which, hey, some people like those, some people don't. For me, a clone is, if you're honest and you say this is this is Stan's Knife Company, you know, and I made a clone of, let's say, the Benchmade 940. I'm not trying to perpetrate that it's a Benchmade 940 or anything. It's Stan's Knife Company. Um, I guess, you know, rock on, you know, but if you try to perpetrate that you're something you're not, then that's bad. That's when like I said, that's when somebody gets burnt. That's when like I said, I was amazed on Amazon, or not Amazon, but eBay, how many they got to be counterfeits. I mean, because you're not going to buy a Benchmade 940 for that's supposed to be S35 VN or S30, might have been S30 for $55. Not happening. Not happening. Not happening. Not happening. It's just not. Excuse me, I got to get a drink. And I know I've been ranting a little bit, and I apologize, but you know, I guess I'm just trying to say, you know, if you buy something on Temu or like Alibaba, heck, anymore, it's looking like eBay. You know, be careful about what you're buying. Brother Randy there on Georgia Adventure mentioned about if the pictures are blurry or something, you know, I think it's a Winchester knife, positive it's a Winchester knife. If the pictures are blurry or something, just assume it's Chinese, you know. And I almost got hit on, I was looking at a buck 110 folder, finger grooves, and it was an older one, had an older sheath, you know, it needed to be polished and cleaned up. And I was like, I almost pulled the trigger. And then I realized every picture, you know, pretend this is a buck 110. Every picture was like that, you know, or just that it was out of the frame. And I realized looking at it when it's closed, of course, this is different. The blade tip had been modified. So somebody had broken the tip and somebody cut it down. And now maybe it was an honest mistake by the seller, but the description was buck. Um, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal if I was buying it and going to send it in the buck for their, you know, care and, oh man, maybe I should have. It was going cheap enough. Didn't think of that. But go, you know, because then I'd have a finger groove one and then a new blade. But I wanted it for the date code on there. It was the late '70s date code, and maybe I should have bought it for as cheap as it was going. Huh? Just dawned on me. I could have sent it in the buck and had a new blade put in it, and yeah, I would have lost. I mean, yeah, the body of the knife was made in the '70s, early '80s date code, but now I'd have a new blade. But that would have been still pretty cool. I mean, I would have had. I think he wanted $8 shipping, and it was I hadn't gotten bid yet, and it was like $40. So I had to put it at 50, and then the new blade put. Okay, not as good of a deal as I thought it was. Sorry, I'm just in my head running the numbers. But it's probably why other people weren't buying it too, as they realized that the tip had more than likely been broken off because of how deep it was setting in the well. But you know, is this? I just thought it was comical that, or not even not comical, but interesting that Brother Randy mentioned that too. That, you know, watch out for blurry pictures and stuff. Just assume, and you know, like he said, he's not saying that every seller that puts a blurry picture out there is trying to con you, or he used a nicer word than that. You know, but sometimes, you know, some of these sellers, they know exactly what they're doing when they're putting things the way they do, and that's sad. You know, you should be honest, because I mean, heck, if the person was to say, hey, you know, blade looks to have been reprofiled and show a good picture, I mean, if the person did a good job, I probably would have spent the I think it was $50, would have gotten it for me and had the date code, you know, but I couldn't see the tip, so I don't know if like it was blunted right after that, or what. So boy, this became a ramble, didn't it? Well, anyways, what do you all guys all think? Did I buy a turd? You know, it's kind of a darkish green metallic. Seems to be pretty well made. Like I said, the blade play is what you'd normally get. There is no back play. There is some pull out, which you have to have for an auto. So it should be pretty good, I'd hope. I'll use it for a while. Let you all know. Yeah, let me know. Did I buy a turd? You know, yeah, I bought it on Temu, but not everything on Temu is a piece of crap. You know, I'm thinking that this might actually be a well-made piece. I mean, listen to the slack. I'll get up here by my mic. That's pretty good. Well, thanks for listening to my babbling, rambling, whatever I've been doing. I appreciate y'all so much. I appreciate the friendships. Um, I got a ton of mail going out. I just gotta get all of them addressed and get them put together. With that being said, I do appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching. Without you guys, I wouldn't be doing this, if there wasn't anybody that wanted to watch. So I appreciate it very much, more than you'll know. With that being said, live long, prosper, and collect your own.